got the Torrone. We're going to actually take you through the entire process of the Torrone production. Right now the nougat is being made, it's being mixed. And in a minute or so, Vinny's going to head over there.
So this is like the TV version. This is the first batch. This is the end of the first batch. We're going to take you through almost step by step how we make the Torrone and the carefulness and the precise measurements, the temperatures that we use. I'm not going to share them with you because they're century-old secrets. But we love what we do, and we invite everybody who comes into the bakery to come and see this project because not everybody makes this handmade product the way we do.
Nobody makes this handmade product the way we do. A lot of people pretend to actually do it the way this is. I mean, you're in the original, not the original shop, the original shop across the street. You're in the same shop that we've been working at since 1938, using my grandfather's original recipe. We always feel like he's looking over our shoulder when we do this to make sure we're doing it right. This was one of his items. This was like one of his babies. We're very, very particular. As Vinny walks you through the production.
Here, he is watching over your shoulder.
That's why we keep this picture around.
That was this bench.
All we're missing is the dough balls flying across the shop. But as Vinny showed you the production, you know, coming off of the machine, and as I walk you through the spreading of the Torrone and everything, you're going to see a lot of the original tools that my grandfather actually used, including the mixer that's over there that we just keep getting fixed because we can't part ways with it. Copper bowl, all little things that remind us of him and my father.
All this Torrone is made by hand, cut by hand, packaged by hand. And we take a lot of pride in that. Some businesses have decided to go to like mass production on machines and factories and warehouses. But we continue to make sure that we never lose our way.
Yeah.
And our customers appreciate that.
Yeah, nothing bad against people that want to mass produce things. It's just not our thing. We're more proud of our product, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Pride over profits. I hope my professors didn't hear me say that.
We have 11 people watching us right now. Say
Hello,
hi to
everybody.
all of them.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to have you in our kitchen with us. By the way, we're gonna try and do this every week. Every week we're gonna pick a different production, and we're gonna try and do a Facebook Live once a week for you guys to get a good look at what making a traditional product is like in an original shop. Notice the benches, kettle, mixers, a lot of the tools we use, all original. By the way, if anybody would ever like to come take a tour of the bakery and see us in action, we'd be happy to do so. All you have to do is get online. Go to our website at www.termini.com, and there is a field there to actually schedule a tour, personalized tour, any day of the week. Vinny and I and Nick would be thrilled to death to have you. Feel free.
Well, we're making this Torrone, and it's a fan favorite by many. But these pinoles getting made behind me are something special of its own. Bonus coverage. These are the best pine nuts that money can buy right here.
The beautiful thing about it is they're handmade. That's something very important to see. And being handmade a little bit big.
Guys, we bag them out by hand.
Okay? A little bit less.
And the important thing of why that they're the right size is because obviously they're a little bit big and we bake them at the time and temperature that we normally bake them at. They'll be a little too soft or a little bit too chewy. So with a careful balance of the right size and time and temperature in the oven. So we make two varieties of this almond-based, amaretto-based cookie. We make our pinole nut, our pinole cookie. So these are the Spanish pine nuts that we smother the cookie in. And then we have our just our standard, regular amaretto, sugar-coated cookie. That's what we're doing here. Pinole, amaretto. And this is the standard amaretto cookie. All almond paste. Come with me.
Alright, we're coming.
So we're catching the middle of the second batch. At this point, we have our honey, our powdered sugar mixture, and our granulated sugar mixture, and it cooks to a certain point. Our pure vanilla is added to this, and it's at the perfect stage. It's like, this is what we refer to as our nougat. The nougat is our roasted almonds and pistachios that we have here. We'll add them to this mix. Mara, come around to this side.
The Wi-Fi is a little interesting over here, so gotta.
All right, come and stay on this side.
Better on this side.
So we roast all of our almonds and pistachios ourselves right before the mix. We just want them as fresh as possible. There's about 3 different mixtures that go into this nougat. Everything is measured with time and temperature. It's very, very precise. And the sourcing of our ingredients are very, very precise. We only use a specific sugar.
We lost connection. Alright, we're back live.
Why don't you go to data?
The data won't work because it's streaming. Like, it has to be Wi-Fi. Alright, we're back live. Sorry about that.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to get a well-proportioned mixture of nuts and nougat. We don't want any sections to be too nutty. We don't want any sections to be too much nougat. This way it's distributed out evenly on the bands. When we cut the pieces, all the pieces are uniform. essentially, as soon as the nougat comes off of the burner, we're against the clock. The temperature is starting to drop, and the mix is getting cooler. The hot nuts help it out. But
How hard is that to stir?
how hard is it to stir?
Uh-huh.
You're going to see the veins pop out of his neck in about a minute. You'll get a good idea how hard it is to stir. So right now, come up. Can you come over to this side? So right now, the soft nougat is still sitting on top, and the thickness of the nuts and nougat are below, and we're trying to get one uniform mix here. So that's what Nick is doing here before we actually go to the table and get ready to pan this up. When we say pan this up, we pour this bowl into prepared pans with rice paper, and that's the next stage that you'll see. But once you get this mixed, it's a little easier, but until then, there's a lot of dry pockets in here of nuts.
And how many batches of this are you going to do today?
And we'll do 3 of these today. Yeah. By number 3, Nick is ready to lay down on the floor.
He's just going to sleep here.
One day I said, "Oh, we should try core." He gave me a look. Wait. But I think back in the day we used to do maybe 2. My grandfather didn't really like to do much on it. Not that he didn't like to do it, but he didn't want to, he was happy just making one. And if it was enough, it was enough. But we have a different mindset these days. We just want to make sure that when our customers want it, we have it available to them. So my father continued this recipe and production of the Torrone with my grandfather. My father realized we needed to make this regularly, especially for our e-commerce business. You can't just run out of something. And my father was like, "All right, let's do another batch." My grandfather wasn't real happy. He didn't want to have to do that. There we go.
this is the, here's the right here.
I'm good here.
This is the stage where we eyeball pork into our pan.
Joe, can I come see what you're doing?
All I'm doing here is I'm spreading out the it's now Torrone, it's not nougat anymore. The Torrone all across the pan, making sure that it's evenly distributed so that we can put papers on it, rice paper, edible paper, and then cool it and then cut it, as you were watching earlier. You notice there's no machines here other than our hands and our eyeballs. It's almost like our hands are a machine. It's got a little stop here.
Essentially, we want to have almost the same height on every pan. This way, when we go and cut the Torrone, the pieces are uniform.
Yeah, I'm right over there.
I could use it. I think I might be alright here. You're gonna get short pans coming up.
Yeah. Nick, don't be nervous if they're a little short. We're a little heavy here. Just like my brother said, we're kind of against the clock here because this is cooling down quickly. The warmer it is, the better it is to spread. The more evenly sheets will be. And the papers will be able to stick better.
As soon as the top starts to get cold and gets dry, the papers won't stick to it.
So they had to call the professional over.
I've been here all the time. What do you mean?
Yeah, who's better at this?
Joe.
I'm the best. I'm the best at everything.
I'm going home
You know,
after this battle.
it's funny you said that, Mark, because to be honest with you, it's never one individual back here. That's the key. The whole unit has to be the best. I mean, if Nick's really good and I stink, I mean, what good is it? You know? Everybody kind of has to be on point when you're doing production like this because every step is so critical.
Yeah, everyone's counting on each other.
This mix can be the best. If I don't spread it properly and it's not evenly distributed, then the whole product is not good. And then Nick will one comes by me and
Nick, watch your step.
heavy.
No, you're going to be heavy. Good.
Good. One for that, one for that.
Take it. They smell wrong. give you an idea, how much of this do we actually make?
Oh, be careful. Term
We do
your
this.
trivia coming.
Well, we do this mix about once a week from August to Christmas, around about. So we're always kind of building a rolling inventory.
Okay, how we looking? Everything look pretty even?
This is heavy.
Here, this one's like. Here, I'll take this. That's a little light. You can put that one.
I got it.
Yep, let's go.
So this is the stage where the pans that are completed, they get the right speed.
And you need to wait. Start to dry out there. I'll move down a little bit.
Yep.
Is it still really hot on your hands?
It is, but it's cooling, especially on the surface. It's cool enough where, you know, I can briefly touch it or rub my glove across it without getting burned. But this will get to the point within the next maybe 15 minutes where the sugar cools enough where it's in that cutting stage consistency. And that's all pretty much measured by the temperatures that we use, the quantities of sugar. If you cook it too much, it'll get too hard. Not cooked enough, it'll be very soft and soupy. Make sure we grab the coldest ones first, or the oldest ones on the bench first, if they're getting cold.
Nick, are there any more pans on that rack, or did I cut them all?
One. This particular production is not made by anybody. If my brother or myself or Nick is not involved in the process, we will not make it. At least we haven't in many years, right, John?
Yeah, no, this has got to be what's here. This is 2 cents.
I don't think I've ever made it without you here.
2 cents. No.
And it's stressful.
Very stressful, especially in the middle of night.
You're under the clock.
So traditionally, we try to stay away from making Torrone on very humid days or rainy days, unless we absolutely have to. And
We absolutely have.
we absolutely have to right now. So
Father's Day is coming, and this is a very popular item for Father's Day. A lot of people like to send this to their dad or grandparents because, yeah, it's not just a piece of candy, it's a memory. It's the same Torrone that we've been serving for over 100 years. So a lot of fathers and grandfathers remember. One bite takes you back to 1921.
And we try and keep the room very dry when we make this, because then the sugar gets very sticky and the paper gets very wavy. It just makes working with sugar, anyone who's familiar with working with sugar or any sugar candies or anything like that, they know that humidity and rain is the enemy. So we turn all of our exhaust fans off in here, and we try and make it as dry as possible during the production of this.
Still a little big, good. You'll see. Make my mouth too big because you put too much. Alright, I mean, you good?
So now we just finished batch number 2, and we're already working on batch number 3. But now we have to go and finish cutting batch number 1 and get started on cutting batch number 2. And now you've caught from the middle our Torrone process. Now you'll start to see what the beginning process is like, where we're melting the honey, cooking the sugar.
They're good numbers.
Is there a reason why you stack them on top of each other?
Yes, so we want it as flat as possible. Also, if there's any voids in the paper, like this here, air voids, you might see some hollowness in here. And when we stack the pans, it creates a perfectly flat surface, and it gets all that air or any space that is in between the candy and the paper. The reason why we want that is when we go to cut it, the paper won't flake off. It's solid candy. Again, this is rice paper. It's edible paper, like the Eucharist.
Does it taste like that?
It does. It just melts in your mouth. Any moisture, if I dropped any water on this, it would just penetrate right through the paper. So it's very important that we keep our work surface very clean and dry. Sure you got the rest of this? You'll cut the
Yeah,
rest?
it's the last pan of this batch.
I mean, you'll cut the rest in like a couple batches?
Sure, no problem. It's not like I haven't done it before, right? Remember the dark ages then? We used to make this in boxes. Needed a chisel and a mallet. And some people still make it that way. Our customers have told us that this is their preferred method of eating the Torrone. This is the end result. You can see the pistachios and the almonds and the nougat. See how soft it is? So what we'll do now is, after this sits for 24 hours to dry out a little bit, we will hand pack these in cellophane bags. The whole team. It's like a 1 hour job. Everybody in the shop just puts them in cellophane bags, and then they get sealed upstairs in our packaging area. These are the edges that are from the Torrone, and just like everything else my grandfather taught us, should never go to waste. So we will recycle that in our Persomali mix. South Phillier's chocolate bar. Because essentially what it is just sugar and nuts and some rice paper.
What you might want to know is, what are we doing with these scraps here?
I just
Oh,
explained.
you did? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's all right.
Great minds think
Here, Ben,
alike.
taste it.
No. No, I can't.
One bite and that's it. You're a dick. One bite, everyone knows the rules.
You'll eat it all.
Rules are I can't eat it.
I'm actually trying to watch what I eat. Try and watch my sugar. My brother makes fun of me.
A little bit.
Sorry.
That's a hard thing to accomplish here.
I go home from work, I tell my wife, I tasted anything. She's like, you just eat Torrone and eat cookies, whatever you want. Yeah. That's a benefit to the job.
It's the truth. Vinny is by far our toughest critic, and he truly enjoys everything that we make. It's pretty cool to watch, actually. When Vinny eats something, like our muscatoli or an imbutini, and he looks at me and he goes, "These are the best."
I know
Our cookies are so good, Joe.
they really are.
And that makes me feel good because I know he's a tough critic. If it's missing something,
Sometimes I gotta tell them. Once in a while.
in a while we got
But
to have a little powwow.
our cookies. These are little samples that I'll cut up while we're cutting Torrone. As customers come in and fill their cannolis fresh for order, our sales associates, when they walk by, I'll ask them how many customers they have, and I give them a piece of Torrone, and it's a nice little treat while they're waiting in line.
All right, so this is the end of the first batch. I'll cut these last few pieces here, and then this first edition of Torrone Facebook Live will be over. We are going to edit these videos and post them to YouTube as well. So for all your YouTube fans, this probably will be posted sometime next week. And like I said, we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis, or we're going to try at least. And for all those who tuned in to watch, thank you. And just a little heads up, you have a little insight into this week's Torrone trivia question, which will be posted Friday.